So the next section of the survey asked a few questions about professional development. And the first question asked about respondents to identify, the top 5 choices that they're interested in attending professional development for. And there were 26 different, technology professional development choices that they had. And we asked them to identify the top 5. And overall, iPads went out as the number 1. But interestingly enough, on the elementary side, teacher websites was number 1. 48% of respondents said are interested in attending professional development on teacher websites. Next, not surprisingly, intermediate smartboard and smart notebook software PD. So we've had some beginner smartboard PD, whether it be through the district itself. Now some teachers, 43% of the teachers are looking for more advanced training on the smartboard and smart notebook. Then we get to iPads and digital storytelling, document camera. Then we have some beginner smartboard, smart notebook training. On the middle school side, 61%, so the overwhelming largest choice there is iPads. Again, I do believe that this goes back to student devices. I think this is asking for or interested in learning how to use iPads for their instruction and bringing student devices into the middle school. Then the next one is interesting because it's beginner smartboard notebook software training. There are no smartboards or very, very few smartboards at the middle school, so it's this PD list also tends to become a little bit of a wish list. Like, well, I would love to have a smartboard, and therefore I'd love to have smartboard training. Teacher websites becomes third there. High school makes a little bit more sense. Let's go back to the middle school just for a moment. Very interestingly enough, Web 2.02 is 33%. Not a huge amount, but a lot more than the elementary. As we've seen as a theme, that the middle school teachers seem to want to branch out and use technology with students in a different way than it seems the elementary does and the high school does. Something that we should try to nurture over there if we can. On the high school side, iPads again being number 1 at 44%, but right behind it, Rankbook for iPass at 39%. As you know, the high school would like to use the Rankbook as much as possible and make it available for parents to see student grades. Teachers have responded to that, and they want training for that. We need to provide them with that training. So the next professional development question asks respondents to rate the type of technology professional development they feel would have the greatest impact on their instruction. And not very surprisingly, hands-on, face-to-face type of technology professional development was number 1 in each level, overall at a 98%. Then number 2, overall, and also in the elementary and the high school, being in-classroom modeling coaching. So again, this shows the need, in my opinion, for an instructional technology support. I mean, we can have hands-on and face-to-face training and classroom modeling and coaching without some instructional technology support in the system. Interestingly enough, middle school teachers, looking 92% feel like an online course would be have a great impact, highly or somewhat advantageous as a great impact on their instruction. The next professional development question asked about their likelihood of participating in different formats of technology professional development. There's a list of different formats of times of the year, times of the day, and locations of professional development, and they had the choice of very likely I would attend, somewhat likely I would attend, not likely I would attend, not at all. I would not attend at all. So these are the answers of respondents that chose either very likely or somewhat likely. 98% of all respondents said that they are very likely or somewhat likely to attend a technology professional development during a scheduled professional development day. That's 100% of elementary school teachers said that they would do that. The next choice in the elementary was 86% said they were very likely or somewhat likely to attend a tech PD after the school day at their school. Then 80% said during the school day at the Savage. 69% said after the school day at the Savage Center. And 66% said during the summer at the Savage. And it shows that teachers are cognizant of their time. If they're going to have professional development after school, they would like it to be at their current location. Middle school teachers, more again at the current location, but during their common planning time, if they have a common planning time. We showed earlier over the 80% of middle school teachers would very likely or somewhat likely attend a technology PD that's online. So that's something again that we might be able to pilot with the middle school population. High school teachers also during a common planning time, but also have that after the school day at their school. So we're more likely to get elementary teachers and high school teachers after the school day at their schools than we would be at the middle school. So the next section of the survey asks to rate the Norwood Public Schools major systems. 3 major systems being email, student information system, and website, as well as our district response time for technical issues. So interestingly enough, only chose 3 responses: excellent, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. Kind of wish there was 4 in there because it seems like a lot of people just put satisfactory. I'm not personally happy with satisfactory as an answer. I want excellence in our system, as you do. So anything that's at a satisfactory level should be 98% satisfactory or excellent, in my opinion, in order to be acceptable, which we don't have in any of our answers here. But you can't make everybody happy, but we need to do our due diligence to try and improve what we have here. So taking a look at the first one here, our MECnet email portal, all staff views it as 91% view it as either excellent or satisfactory. Highest being the middle school at about 95%, saying that the email system is excellent or satisfactory. High school is low, 86.1%. I view that as a very low number, as excellent or satisfactory for the email system. And some of the comments that came out of it with that's not very user-friendly or mobile-friendly, difficult to create distribution lists, things like that. So the high school staff does not seem very happy or satisfied with the current email system. Student information system, again, we've got an 86% excellent or satisfactory rating. It's lower at the elementary school. It's high at the middle school, and I have a theory about that, and it's low at the high school. Comments being report cards are difficult to enter. So on the elementary side, I've heard a number of times that it's difficult to enter grades in the report card, and I think that's where your lower 84% comes in. There's also that comment of need more training. Now, the high school has to use rank book and attendance. I think there's, again, struggling a little bit with that, with the need of training. That's where you get a lower satisfactory rating. Now, my understanding is at the beginning of the year, one of the middle school teachers did a training using iPass and using rank book at the middle school. And look, we have a 97% excellent or satisfactory rating. I truly think that this 97% tick has a lot to do with the fact that there was training available to the middle school students, to the middle school teachers this year using iPass. And I'm going to back that up on the next one. School CMS, definitely the lowest rated system in this set of questioning, 78% of all staff say excellent or satisfactory. 78% of elementary school teachers rate it as excellent or satisfactory. That's very low. I attribute that again to the change in the website. I think a lot of teachers were frustrated with that. The change in the creating websites it has been identified as not very user-friendly, and that there is training needed. And that backs up other data that we've seen earlier in the professional development. The number one asked for training in elementary is the website, teacher website. The middle, you have 97% excellent or satisfactory. Again, just like IPASS, training was available to the middle school teachers at the beginning of the year on teacher websites. So I think a little bit of training goes a long way in this data. I could be wrong. I don't have any follow-up questions to back that up with, but I know there has not been training at the elementary, and there has not been training at the high school, but there has been training at the middle school for both the website and for IPASS. And you can see the difference in satisfaction. At the high school, you're at an 83%. Again, lack of training, lack of usage. Then we come to our district response time. I put this as a technology department, excellent or satisfactory. What's our district response time? 85%. That's a number we need to improve on. Again, I would like to see us at the 95 to 100% excellent or satisfactory rate. So there's some work we need to do there. At the elementary, it's 79%. I attribute that to a couple of things. Number one, and I would like to say Anna got a lot of compliments in the comments. However, she's one person for 6 buildings, and so it's difficult to keep up with the demand in that case. I think the other piece is that for the first 2 months of the year, at least two of the elementary schools had very difficult times getting on the internet. They had severe network issues the first 2 months of school, and I think this number reflects that frustration, as I, as a teacher, would be very frustrated also. Middle school, we have an 83%. The high school, we have a 97% excellent or satisfactory in district response time, which I thought was very interesting. However, the number one, no matter what the percentage is here, the number one feeling from people is that there's just not enough staff for the support. So the next question asks respondents to identify their largest barriers in using technology to achieve their teaching and learning objectives. All staff, again, is their lack of time to research and plan technology integration. 59% of all respondents said it's a lack of time. There's so much technology out there, but I don't have enough time to research it all and learn how to and plan the integration in my day. And then followed up by lack of training. 55% lack of training. I think these two answers again underscores the need for an instructional technology plan, instructional technology professional development plan, and instructional technology support that is needed at each level. At the elementary school, the number one is 63% was network reliability is the number one barrier. Again, I truly think this number goes back to the network problems that elementary schools were having at the beginning of the year. And when you can't get online the first 2 months of the year, which 2 schools could not, you tend to think that network reliability is a huge barrier, which it was. That has since been solved, and I would venture a guess that in 3 months, if we took this same question again, this number would be different. Right behind that is lack of time to research and plan integration, then lack of hardware devices for elementary schools. Middle schools, this is no surprise, 78% say their largest barrier is lack of student hardware devices. So as we've seen throughout the middle school data, throughout this presentation, a low percentage of students using technology at the middle school, and teachers are identifying the barrier as lack of devices for students. And then followed up by lack of teacher hardware devices. The high school represents, or the high school sort of lines up a little bit more with the elementary and in the all staff. Number one being lack of time to research or plan integration and lack of training. We know at the high school that there are plenty of teacher devices. Every teacher has a desktop along with Eno board and projector, but and a new network. But the lack of time to plan integration, the lack of instructional support at the high school seems to be the biggest barrier. So the next question is about moving technology forward in the system. We asked teachers where they thought the district should devote its resources the most in order to move technology forward in Norwood Public Schools. There was a list of 8 areas of technology. They needed to rank them 1 through 8, and these represent the most important, according to teachers, the most important areas of technology we should be devoting our resources. All staff say, provide instructional support and training to teachers in the system using technology. That was the number 1 most important area we need to devote our resources according to them. Number 2 being provided a reliable network across the system. 3 being providing technology devices to teachers, and 4 providing technology support for the technology that's currently in the system. As you go through each level now, again, you see, each level really has its own personality when it comes to technology. So on the elementary level, the number 1 area, 84% of respondents identify this as the number 1 or 2 area in which we should devote our resources, and that's providing technology devices to teachers. I attribute this to there are a number of teachers that have smartboards, projectors, document cameras, and laptops. I think you're seeing other elementary teachers recognize that these teachers are using this successfully in their classrooms, or they feel they're using them successfully in their classrooms, and they want those devices as well. And then number 2, providing reliable network access to users across the system, 82%. I go back to that network issue that the elementary schools have. I think that score is high because of that issue. Next being provide instructional support and training to teachers in the system. Now, at the middle school, their top 2, providing technology devices to teachers, and then again, providing hardware devices to students. That doesn't show up at all in elementary, and it does not show up at all in high school, but it shows up in the middle school. It's important to the middle school that students have devices. And then followed by reliable network and providing wireless access. And I see this as, there are some dead spots in the middle school that need to be addressed. And that's something that middle school teachers recognize and they want addressed. At the high school, you see the high school is really split. There's no really clear identified area that high school teachers feel we should be devoting our resources. It's very much split. Instructional support and training, again, which makes sense because they have all new technology up there. Technical support, same reason. You got Bob up there. It's only 1 person, and they've got a lot of new technology up there. Very interestingly enough, the one piece that did not show up in either the middle or the elementary, but shows up in the high school, providing students with email and document collaboration accounts. This is something we should really be looking at the high school and on the middle school level, but identified by high school teachers as an important piece of technology moving forward, and that's providing students with email accounts. And then there was one last question asking teachers, if they had a choice of one device, what would the device be for their main computing device? Just interestingly enough, wanted to see that data moving forward as we figure out our hardware refresh cycles and where we're moving as a district in the future. All staff, the clear-cut winner was laptops with 53%, but interestingly enough, it's again different for each level. Laptops went out in the elementaries at 67% of teachers saying that that's what they would prefer as their main computing device. Middle school, also with 56%, but they, had a little bit more on the desktop and tablet side. And then high school has 47% is desktop, prefer as their main computing device, and presumably because that's what they're using right now. They don't have access to laptops for the most part right now, so they go with what's working for them. But there is a certain number of teachers that are also interested in having a laptop as their main computing device. So something to think about moving forward. So some takeaways I feel are some takeaways from this data, and you definitely have access to the raw data at SurveyMonkey. If you don't have an account on, or you don't know the account on SurveyMonkey, let me know because I can give it to you. But all of that data is there. But these are my takeaways from it. Again, the biggest one is the middle school. Middle school students do not have enough access to technology, according to their teachers, and they're not using technology on a regular basis in their classrooms. I think this is something that needs to be addressed. I think the very interesting piece of that is that middle school teachers in this survey seem to want to have devices for their students, and they seem to want to use technology in their classroom, in their instruction. So I think the middle school is a great place to start some student device pilots or BYOD pilots. Something we can talk about, but I think middle school is a good place to start. My feeling is students at all levels are not using technology on a regular basis to promote higher order thinking skills, such as evaluating and creating. These higher order thinking skills, these 21st century critical thinking, communication, collaboration skills, it's not how technology is being used district-wide. Technology is being used for educational games. Technology is being used for Microsoft Word, maybe some PowerPoint, but we're not seeing innovative uses of technology. We're seeing pockets of innovation. We are not seeing, usage. And what the reason for that is, I think there's multiple reasons. Amount of student devices is a reason, and I think instructional support for teachers is a huge reason as well. Elementary school teachers are most interested in using smartboards, LCD projectors, and Ladybug document cameras. I think, again, because we are seeing that penetration in the elementary schools, other elementary school teachers are seeing it being used, so they would like to use them as well. Teachers district-wide seem comfortable with the idea of using technology in their instruction. However, they do not have a grasp of what is out there for them to use or how to implement it into their instruction. There are pockets of innovation, just what I said above. I don't think that teachers district-wide, for the most part, have, and as we've seen in the data, feel that they have enough time to plan and research and integrate technology in their instruction. I think they want to. I think this is, again, where we need more instructional support for our teachers. As I say here, there's a need for instructional technology support at each level. What that looks like, we'll need to talk about, but there is that need. If we really want to, move the needle when it comes to technology in our classrooms, we have a long way to go, and so we're going to need to get some work done. Teachers are interested in using websites to communicate with students and parents. However, they feel that more training is needed, the tool is insufficient, and they need more time. So I think this is a glaring need that we can work on right away, that we need to work on right away. And, as you can see in the data, the elementary, middle, and high school have very different needs. And I think we need to develop a plan for each level, not just an overall district plan. We're going to, move technology forward. I think we need to be very specific in our planning for each level. For elementary, what are elementary objectives, what are middle school technology objectives, and what are our high school technology objectives. I think that would be the best way to move forward. So all of the data is available to you. If you don't know what the account for SurveyMonkey is to see that raw data or the data that has been filtered, let me know, and I'll get that to you.